So, welcome to my new video. Let's just get right into it. In this video, I'm going to draw like little ideas, gender goals, because every transition arc needs a goal, right? And so, in this video, you'll see me drawing this little character who, very devil-coded, very demon-coded little antichrist character, because he is my transition goals. And, well, okay, I guess I should kind of start from the beginning. I never really got to be my own person or really be myself. I was always, judged by, other people's insecurities, other people's perceptions of me. As a kid, I was assigned female at birth, and so I was treated like a normal little girl. I was given lipstick and dresses, and I never picked my own clothes because I was like a kid, and I didn't really care for that kind of clothing. I really didn't like it at all, especially dresses. When I would get dresses as gifts and stuff, I would always be disappointed because my brother would get the good stuff, the toy cars and shit. I was like, oh, why did he get that shit? And just furthermore, growing up, I was given this narrative that, I was this, weak, fat girl, ugly, weak, fat girl, and, who, loved animals, but was pretty unremarkable. And so I kind of, at some point, I guess, believed that story, but, and such, I believed, I have these hyper feminine traits, I'm fat, I'm weak, I am, I love these things and don't care for these things, I am timid. But the reality of it is that none of those things were actually true in the end. Because looking back, I was looking at old photos of myself as a kid, and there's no hint of me being fat. There's no belly, there's no double chin. I was actually just taller and actually kind of guy-shaped, if that makes any sense. And I wasn't really ugly. I just had pretty intense eyes, and I was just pretty intense looking. I wasn't plain at all. And I mean, yeah, I would draw animal characters as a kid, but I wasn't really an animal lover. I would do kind of some sick, sadistic shit, like when I was in third grade, when I was bored at the pool and not allowed to go because of Adult Swim, I would torture the ants. I was not exactly, the most gentle person, and I was treated like I was timid and frail, but I would also do things like piggyback my friends, and even my clothing choices were influenced by everyone else. I had to get my hair cut short and stuff in a certain way that I really actually hated on myself. And I was, at some point I was allowed to get guy clothes, but it was always shirts and stuff everybody else got for me. It was oh, here's a Mario shirt, or here's a blue shirt with a silly saying on it that I didn't really care about, but I wore because it was oh, well, it's a shirt and I don't care about fashion, so why even bother? And even as I transitioned, I didn't really go for my own self-expression. I just kind of went for, what would make me pass. And so I'd, get my hair cut short and the typical trans guy styles, and it looked okay, but I didn't really enjoy the look that much, but I kind of just powered through it, and I was well, I guess this is my look now. And I was just happy to have short hair because I kind of looked male. And so yeah, and I all the personality traits that I thought were mine were never mine. I was told I was thin-skinned and weak and frail, and again, I was going through shit that would break a normal person. And I did it all while maintaining like a kind of like smile. Like as I said, my reality was breaking every day at one point, And instead of lashing out and instead of, yelling, screaming, crying, I would just kind of still be kind to everyone, even in my worst moments. And, I was always treated like I was dumb, but I was the kid who would come up with impractical with like weird solutions in class that like people didn't think of. Just such like that, like my whole life was basically a lie. So anyway, this little antichrist character that I'm drawing, he is kind of like my little goals. I want to embrace the kind of natural, like chaotic look that I have, because I'm actually, I'm not really as obese as the standards say. A lot of it is actually muscle. It just looks obese to the average person because I have like I have some fat. It's just like the t-shirts and stuff that I wear are baggy and just makes me look fat. So yeah. Sorry, I had to catch my breath for a moment. But basically, yeah, anyway, the clothes I want to wear is I want to definitely wear a lot of black and red. I was given a lot of blue shirts growing up, so like want to go for black and red. I kind of call the vibe demon punk. I want to wear a mixture of like shirts that I've drawn on myself, decorated myself, pants that I like modified myself, kind of give them rips and stuff, because I think that style is so cool. I don't care if it's like 2010s teenage vibes. Like, it's my clothes. I'm gonna wear what I want. And I have this really cool plan for like a hoodie that's just gonna be like, it's a regular black hoodie, but I'm gonna sew a bunch of extra like pockets on it that are made of like various red fabrics and some random buttons, whatever I find. I'm just gonna decorate it and totally like build it up. And I also want to like just full JoJo character, just walked out of the void kind of shit. Like, I want to like sometimes dress in like ridiculous costumes. Like, I got like a fallen angel costume somewhere, and I totally would love to just wear that casually, like it's an everyday occurrence. And one of the costumes I really want to like wear sometimes is like a lab coat and like a little scientist costume, because I'm not like, I don't have a degree or anything, but I like to consider myself a sort of scientist, even though my science is kind of ridiculous and unofficial, but I do love researching and science, so that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. And I also just want like a full like little cape horns outfit, little, demonic, definitely like full demonic vibe. Just kind of that bullshit all the time. And I definitely want to grow my hair like long and wild. Like, as I said, I've like tried to look standard female, I've tried to look standard male, and even though no matter how hard I've tried to pass, binding, testosterone, shaving, well, not shaving because, but I can't really grow a beard. And, I've tried short hair, I've tried no hair, practically no hair. I've tried hats, I've tried t-shirts, and that kind of shit. Just no matter how hard I try, I still just look like a regular girl to some people. And so what's the fucking point of trying to look like a standard guy if I'm not even going to be seen as one? I kind of just have a naturally kind of non-binary look about myself, so I'm going to fully embrace it. I'm going to grow my hair long and wild and just embrace my naturally muscular build. And like, I'm gonna not care what sex or gender I look like. If I look like both simultaneously and intimidate people, that's even better. So yeah, that's the look I am going for. And it's really about fully just embracing who I am, because why dress like a standard person when I'm not a standard person? And I'm really inspired to do my own clothes like this because, as somebody who's bigger framed, there's not a lot of clothes out there that naturally fit a body like mine, that are comfortable and that look good. It's all just kind of baggy gamer shirts or whatever, like that, anyone can wear them, but it's not really that unique. And it just kind of makes me look more like a random slob than like a person, wearing that kind of clothing and looking the way that I've been trying to look like a standard, standard fat guy. I just kind of felt gross, like, yeah, it was comfy technically, but I didn't feel hot, just kind of felt ugly, and it was a killer for my confidence. So I want to make my own clothing and do that kind of stuff, because fuck it, I deserve to feel hot too. I shouldn't have to not feel hot just because I can't be 120 pounds and built like a twig. And, just because I don't look like a 12-year-old girl doesn't mean I, shouldn't be able to dress nice, So, anyway, I think I want to announce some, future plans in this video. I definitely want to have, this series called Sketchbook Confessionals, where it's, a casual, series where, I draw stuff and share stories about my life that are just kind of, weird, that I thought were, typical everyday stuff, but, were not so typical everyday, and did not reflect who I was being told I was. And, if maybe down the line, if people are interested, I'll, gather some of your guys' stories and make sketchbook confessionals out of those too. And, of course, I'll credit. But I think that would be a really fun thing. And another thing I really want to do is something that I call Sinful Sunday, where I will draw some interesting stuff on live while and just have an open chat and stuff. So, anyway, that's all for now. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.